Hi, I'm Cassian Grove with Starhouse Amateur Theater Company, and this is a very spooky Halloween video. Today I'm going to show you how to make different kinds of fake blood, and I'm going to start with edible blood. So first we have this corn syrup. Any kind of corn syrup will do, and I'm not going to worry too much about measurements, because with making fake blood it's more of an art than a science. So I'm just going to put in a small amount. It's always better to start with less and then add more as you go. The second ingredient is chocolate syrup. Again, any kind will do, and I'm just going to put in a bit less than I did of the corn syrup. And this is good for if you want to be a vampire and have blood dripping out. Okay, I'm adding the red food coloring, and I suggest you start with a full bottle of food coloring because I had to be very conservative with mine. And again, less is more. Always start with less than you think you need and then work up to full color. This recipe makes for very dark blood, like kind of older blood than fresh blood, which I like. I think it looks more realistic. I love the consistency, how thick and drippy it is, but it does need to be more red. It's too brown for me right now. Yeah, this is me adding like 5 more drops, and then we're gonna mix it up really good. And honestly, okay, I'm gonna try this in a minute. It tasted pretty good. Like, I don't usually like chocolate syrup, but I guess the corn syrup added that extra something special. So I'm mixing it up, mixing it up. You can kind of see the hint of color there. I like that it has kind of that dimensionality. As you can see, it's a really great consistency for blood, and it's much closer to the red that I wanted. And then here's a clip of me testing it out and being a spooky vampire. Alright, next, I'm going to make blood that you can put on your clothes. So I'm going to start with some detergent, and again, this isn't going to wash out easily, so don't use it on clothes you like. This is just better than just putting sticky food stuff on your clothes. But there is chocolate syrup too, so a little bit of detergent and then a bit of chocolate syrup. I kind of did equal parts. You should probably add a bit more chocolate syrup. And then I put in the red food coloring. Again, being very conservative at first with it. That's like 6 drops, 7 drops. Not as conservative. I realized my mistake the first time. And we're gonna mix this up, and even though the detergent is blue, the result will be a brownish red. And then you can splatter this on your clothes if you want to water it down and dip a toothbrush in and use that. Drag your finger across the toothbrush to splatter it on your clothes, or just drip it on them, or figure out where you want your wounds to be and then just like pour it on. There's a lot of different ways you can apply this. But I didn't add any water, so it's going to be kind of a drippy, blood oozing out of a wound consistency. It's very, very dark. It's a little less thick than the edible stuff, but as you can see, it looks, actually that looks a lot like old blood on fabric. I might add more red next time if I were to do this again, or maybe less chocolate syrup, but I have this t-shirt here that I'm going to try it on to show you. And it goes on really thick, but you can bunch it up together and it'll make blood stains. And again, it looks like older blood. I would use more red dye next time if I was going to make it look like fresh blood. And if you need your clothes dry in a hurry, you don't want to get blood all over you, you can use a hair dryer to dry it off, and it'll only take a couple minutes. The last thing I'm going to show you is another kind of edible blood, but this is more of a drippy visual effect kind of blood that you could have like dripping from your mouth, or you could have dripping from something. So I'm going to use a little bit of cocoa powder, just like, I think that's like half a teaspoon. And then again with the corn syrup, and this is mostly going to be corn syrup, so that's what's going to make the nice drippy consistency. This is also good if you don't have chocolate syrup or you don't like chocolate syrup. This is an alternative to that. And of course the red food coloring, and I used up basically the rest of my food coloring here, so now I don't have any more red. And that looks pretty nasty with the powder in it, so let's mix it up. And this ended up being the reddest because it wasn't using the chocolate syrup, so if you want something that's more red and bright, I recommend this method. Mixing it all up. You can see, okay, it's still pretty brown, but that looks like blood with texture. It looks like there's some stuff in that blood, which is pretty unfortunate. But I'm going to show you how lovely it drips. So you can't really see it in the frame right now, but in a minute, oh yeah, you can see it's just like oozing down. Oh, that's so gross. Oh man. That's the perfect blood mixture for really disgusting drippy stuff. And that is also edible. Don't eat the detergent one. Alright. That does it for this video. If you don't like visual learning, if you prefer reading stuff over videos, we're going to have this information in a zine, which will be available for Pay What You Want, along with other cool Halloween tutorials and facts. So please check that out. Alright, again, this has been Cassian Grove with Starhouse Amateur Theater Company. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Halloween!